So here's another one I want to jump into. Again, we're still kind of looking at Texas now, and this is sort of related to some of the stuff we've talked about here. And it's also, I think, one of those examples you put under the category of trying to do something good, government messing it up, or at least something bad masked as an effort to do something good.
One or the other, right?
One or the other, right? I don't know what's in their head, but this is what it's about. Age verification requirement to access sexual material online signed into law. This is Texas. This is the place that so many people came to because they think it's this freedom place, which in some ways it is, but in other ways it really isn't. Cannabis laws and other things like that. Texas follows a trend of other states enacting online age verification laws, which has prompted free speech and privacy lawsuit challenges. Greg Abbott, just a few weeks ago, signed this legislation, which would restrict access to sexual material harmful to minors and require age verification for online porn sites. Again, something that probably needs, has some good meaning behind it. Two reps from Texas, one Matt Sheehan of Plano, Republican, another Republican, Senator Angela Paxton of McKinney. They sponsored this bill, and they said that the proliferation of pornographic material online has raised concerns for parents, how easy it is to get, and I would definitely agree with that. It's all over social media even. Like, people don't realize, like, there's lots of porn, even not on porn sites, just on a place like Twitter or YouTube, and, sometimes kids might stumble into it. But it requires that a website that intentionally publishes sexual material harmful to minors to verify the user's identity through digital ID or a third-party verification system that uses government-issued identification. Websites found in violation will be subject to fines and penalties. So a website, including social media platforms whose content is more than 1/3 sexual material, will require virtual identification. Said sites will also require to post on their landing pages multiple Texas Health and Human Service warnings about addiction and other mental health problems associated with viewing porn. They talk about studies looking at the effects of porn on the brain. I think there's there's a conversation to be had again here, but is this the right step? I don't know. Texas is not the only state to take steps in limiting children's ability to access sexually explicit material. Louisiana also has a similar law. Age verification, and to me, the big thing is using a digital ID, right? So I started to look into this. There's more you can find out. Again, these links will all be listed there.
That one thing said, like, it put the burden on the sites.
Yeah, so it's up to the sites to kind of do it, but also, and this is why I think it's like, all right, there's a bigger picture going on here. Texas has already introduced a digital identification process called Texas by Texas, which created a single digital identity for access to services, agencies, similar to other states' digital driver's license programs. And I remember reading about this. These are going to be rolling out soon. Texas, they're already starting to build the infrastructure. They're not like mandatory yet. They're called digital driver's licenses. And so I looked it up, Texas for Texas. Here it is, if you're watching on the screen. Texas Department of Information Resources, Digital Services, Government to Citizen. Project title, Texas by Texas Digital Assistant. Project date, September 2019. So they've been working on this for a couple of years. Pilot project 2019, fully implemented as a web app, October 2021, as a mobile app by February 2022. So it's active, it's out there. And sure enough, it looks just like a COVID passport or a digital identity you might see anywhere else. And they call it the state's official digital assistant. And so you can use Texas by Texas now. If you want to get on, you use porn, I guess the sites, they have to list those warnings, and they have to probably collaborate with the government in some way. And you would have to, I guess, get an account on here to make sure that you can verify yourself and watch porn if you want, or even if you're not on porn, a social media site that maybe they say, oh, you have 1/3 sexually explicit material. But for me, it's like, this is definitely, I think, a good cause being done in the wrong way. And again, it's pushing more digital identities, age verification to get on the internet, like to get on a website. It's not the internet itself yet, but a website. What do you think about this, Micah? Problem looking for, nail looking for a hammer.
Old school porn magazines are going to make a comeback.
Yeah, magazines coming back.
Yeah, perhaps. We've seen a lot of things where old media, radio and print, continues to function. I don't know. It's difficult to say. I mean, obviously, it gives the opportunity for probably all things that you research to be cataloged even more thoroughly.
Yeah, well, I worry about it's just a kind of
Know where you are whenever
getting
you
people
log on.
comfortable with the idea that we've seen floated in the past of that there should be an internet ID to get online. And that's how we can stop hate crime. And that's how we can stop, terrorism and this and that. Everybody just has to sign on to one single all-encompassing internet ID. Or like with China, they have the Weibo app, which is like the all-in-one everything app. Elon Musk wants to make his X app, which he's trying to turn Twitter into, the all-in-one app, like, right? Got everything, bank account, health account, like Aaron Russo warned about on Freedom of Fascism back in 2006. The one app to rule them all is kind of how I see it. But that's kind of what it makes me think of is like, sure, it starts out about porn and keeping kids safe. But then before long, how long until that Texas by Texas thing is needed to get on anywhere on the internet, or, okay, well, now it's gambling sites, or now it's this thing, and it's, or if you're on those right-wing hate sites, then it's just, I could see this being exploited in so many ways, so.
Oh, yeah, count on it. I mean, why wouldn't it be? I mean, I just am kind of not surprised.
And again, it's Texas, so I don't see this story making it. I just happen to come across it. Like, I haven't seen this in the news really.
Well, it's how things are dressed up, right? Like you said, here it is. Well, how do we get this in here? Well, we have to use it to control. We're going to use it to control. Well, let's use it to control something that most people will think is bad to begin with.
Exactly.
It's really about control, period.
Like they pick a topic that most
bad.
people would agree, like, yeah, that's reasonable. That sounds like not a bad thing to do. And then it's like the next step. It's like, okay, well, now this other topic that we think is bad is also, you need an ID to get onto that thing, right?
Yeah.
And then once people are already using this Texas by Texas, then how hard it is to say, okay, now in order to do
there'll be
anything,
discounts, right? You can save if you're
using your Texas by Texas app, you get discounts for showing your retina scan or whatever.
That's the gas pump.
That's how China is rolling out part of their digital identity systems and their social credit score and their CBDC. They started out.
We don't have to go into places or do anything like that. As the Internet of Things becomes more prevalent, more and more, contactless checkpoints, I can see that being, integrated with that. And,
I agree.
You go to Kroger, you don't have to see a person. You just get your head scanned or whatever,
How come you don't have your tattoo? You're unscannable. You're unscannable.
Since 2012, the Conscious Resistance Network has been an independent media organization focused on empowering individuals through education, philosophy, health, and community organizing. We work to create a world where corporate and state power do not rule over the lives of free human beings. Our motto is leading by example and helping others in their pursuit of freedom. Visit theconsciousresistance.com to find our articles, documentaries, interviews, podcasts, books, and more. Remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free.